driving to Warwickshire to take part in the Sky Landscape Artist of the Year programme. And that sounds really weird to say out loud.
If you don't know the programme, selected artists are given the opportunity to paint their interpretation of a landscape at a number of locations around the UK. The show is presented by Stephen Mangan and Joan Bakewell and features 3 judges, Tai Shan Schierenberg, Kathleen Soriano and Kate Bryan. The winners from the early heats then go on to face off against each other in later episodes until an overall winner is chosen. 50 wildcard artists are also invited to paint at the same time as the main competitors at each heat, the idea being that one of them can be chosen to progress to shake things up a bit. I saw an ad for the show while searching for an art competition. Unfortunately, I wasn't chosen for a main position in the programme, but did receive a link to apply to be a wildcard instead. I chose a date and location to attend from the list of venues, a first-come, first-served application process until all 50 places were taken. The email invite also included a very welcome voucher for Cass art supplies, which I put to good use and bought the Winsor & Newton watercolour tin you see in other videos, as well as other useful supplies to get me set up for painting outside. I stretched my paper, wrote lists, packed and repacked everything into my handy trolley bag until I was 99% sure I had everything I could possibly need, then set off for Warwickshire.
I have no idea what the weather's going to do.
My hotel room contained some inspiring floral artwork and overlooked an inviting stretch of canal. I thought I'd walk off some of my nerves along this beautiful stretch of canal. So I'll get some inspiration to do a quick painting. I also packed my tiny book of positive affirmations, so decided to flip through and see if any messages came out for me. Follow your own path, and don't stop until you're proud. Don't think I could argue with those. Us wildcards got to know each other while the Sky staff briefed us on how we were going to make our entrance, and checked our boards and canvases to apply the official stamp that would ensure we couldn't pull a fast one and produce a pre-worked piece. We were to dramatically crest the hill and descend on the grounds laden with our bags and boards, passing the intimidating camera at the bottom, before continuing our long hike to our painting spot. The famous painting pods were already lined up on the hillside with a commanding view across the grounds for the main competitors. We were given a set zone to paint in, but other than that had the freedom to choose where to set up within that area and even which direction to face in. There was an interesting iced tree sculpture in the area and a lovely stretch of water with a deck chair themed art installation across from us and a quaint curving bridge at the far end, which is what I decided to focus on. We were allowed to set up and begin producing sketches, but not to begin working our official canvas until the competition began. I unpacked my umbrella and little table and hunkered down to find my composition. I was grateful I brought it along as the grey clouds above us released a light shower before thankfully moving along. I stashed my paper deep under its protection and hurried out to assist another artist erect their tent. The afternoon was a different day to the morning, and if anything I was struggling to work my colours before the hot sun dried the page. The judges, presenters and camera crew appeared occasionally, meandered about the artists, asking questions or offering kind words about what they were seeing. I'd heard a lot of people comment on the dreadful amount of green in the landscape, so took it as a challenge to include as much of it as I could. From the lime green barley field in the distance above, the dark trees and their reflections, and for good measure the strip of reeds where the cropped lawn met the water's edge. I was also pleased to spot a tern swooping to the surface for fish as I was sketching, so of course he earned a place too. The grounds were also open to the public, who came for a respectful nose. A lady who said she swims the water there in the mornings told me that I'd captured what it was like before the people came, so I was pleased with that. The Wildcard winner was Ewan Ashley, with his wonderfully moody take on the deck chairs across the water. The artists in the pods were still finishing up as we packed up, and lined up to be gradually narrowed down by the judges to 3, a winner then being picked from those. You can watch the series on skyarts to see the winner's progression and the other heats. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have tried to incorporate quite as much detail as I did, as the amount of layers involved slowed me being able to bring the image together until the very end. But to me, the clover flowers in the lawn and the bindweed winding through the iris and reeds stand out as much a part of the grand landscape as the detail of the bridge. The wildcard paintings are not handed in for judging, however, and I think to progress you really need to have caught an eye early on in the day. I would also recommend setting up in the centre of the group for the same reason. In order to get a nice long view of the bridge and all the landscape layers, I was practically sat in the bushes. The series aired on the 12th of January 2022, and the episode I attended was shown on the 9th of February, which I watched intently to see if I got my half-second flash of fame. I wasn't interviewed, so I knew I wouldn't be getting any major feature, but was pleased to be able to pick myself out of the background, in several shots altogether. I'm proud of the painting I produced, and had such a fun day out in nature with other artists, even if I didn't win anything. Though I did get the official programme stamp on my drawing boards to cherish forever. I hope you enjoyed this video, and best of luck to those of you taking part in upcoming series. Perhaps I'll enter again sometime. Thanks, and remember to stay inspired!